we talked about going out and creating our own little real estate firm, and we ended up coming here to Remax.
Yeah.
And one of the things and I remember saying this very specifically, was when the printer goes down, I text Ryan and I go, "Hey Ryan, the printer's down.
Yeah.
Have a good night."
Yeah, I think there was a few emotional meltdowns and heart palpitations that we all went through thinking about that, going back to that.
Yeah.
Because there was that time where you realize everything is your responsibility, everything is your problem, everything from the lawn guy didn't show up and mow the lawn and our curb appeal looks terrible for a business to, so let's go grab a lawnmower too. Yeah. The printer doesn't work, or, somebody accidentally sent 700 pages to the color printer and didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And you still have to pay for that. There's a lot to worry about.
Yeah.
When it's yours.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you try to shelter that a little bit, and that's what we did in this scenario. Aspen, I know you in your heart are an entrepreneur through and through. Talk to me about some of the instances in your life where you're like, this is going to be wonderful and amazing, and maybe it didn't turn out that way.
Well, my last 2 jobs that I had, so I did wedding photography for 8 years to pay for college, and just something I could do on nights and weekends, and that was perfect. But I got into wedding photography because that's where the money is, and you're working every single weekend in the summer, and you have to. You can't. If you take a weekend off, it's like taking a month off. So that was kind of a big downside to it. And then whenever I was owning some yoga studios through Farmington, Dolores, and Telluride, if people didn't call in, you still had to figure it out and you still had to be there. So sometimes I would teach classes in Farmington, Dolores, and Telluride all in the same day, which they're 3.5 hours apart. So it'd be a lot of driving. It was really hard on my body, and honestly, slightly ruined yoga for me.
Right.
And same for photography.
It becomes a job.
Yep,
It's,
a job.
yoga should be something you enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one thing is you always hear like people saying you should turn your hobby or something you love into a job. And I actually don't agree with that. Mm-hmm. I think those should stay your hobbies unless you're wildly talented at graphic design and you can mass produce it and then put it on, for sale on Etsy and it's like a one-time thing. I just think it kind of ruins what you're doing it for, because then you're getting the commissions, and instead of just doing it because you like it, if you can find something that you happen to be good at that's also flexible, like real estate, then I think that's what you should do rather than turn something you love into your job.
Yeah, that's really interesting. In fact, we should go into that a little bit because, for instance, some people are great bakers, right? You're a fantastic baker.
Yeah, but if I had to do that, if I had to do it every day, if I had to wake up and I had a certain thing and it wasn't what I chose to make or what I chose to do, it was an order, it was something you have to do, and there's, people going to complain about it, or, all the things that go along with it. Mm-hmm. Then you kind of start getting a little bit of anxiety about it. And I agree, it would be a lot less fun.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be enjoyable anymore. So
then how do you find that sweet spot of something like you said, it's about maybe something that you're good at, but maybe not a passion for, or where is that? Where is that little area?
I think whenever and I don't think those jobs were bad that I did. I think they're beneficial. I use my photography and graphic design all the time in real estate. I don't really use the yoga, but I use that personally at home. So I don't think it was...
sit at home and go,
sometimes, yeah. So I don't think it was like necessarily a mistake or bad. It just wasn't what... I couldn't do it forever.
Sure.
I think with real estate is the numbers, whenever we kind of started looking into house flipping and moving, and my parents did flip houses, but it was just, this really makes sense to me. I'm handy. My husband's handy. We are both extremely hard workers. We'll do all the work ourselves. And we were on a tight budget, so we had to get it done quickly. And numbers have always made sense to me. And then it was, okay, well, if we're going to do this, then you should get into real estate. So I was able to do that on the side with my other jobs. So I ended up quitting those very quickly because I've talked about this in another one where I feel like you have to kind of jump in, have a backup, have some reserves, don't risk everything. But I think if you have too much of a safety net, you won't fully commit to it.
If you're just dipping your toe in.
You got to go for it, I think. What's the worst thing that can happen? You start over?
Yeah.